There are rivalries in football, and then there is the Superclásico de las Americas. Forget neat, organized European derbies defined by a shared city or a league title race. This is something else entirely. This is a clash of continents condensed into two nations. It's a battle fought not just for victory, but for the very soul of South American football. It's a symphony of breathtaking skill and brutal cynicism, a carnival of color, and a cauldron of chaos. This is Argentina versus Brazil. And this is not just a game. It is a fundamental question about how football should be played. It's a philosophical war fought with a ball, where the prize is continental supremacy and a permanent place in the pantheon of gods. To understand this rivalry, you must first understand the two competing ideologies that define it. On one side, you have Brazil and its famous philosophy, joga bonito, the beautiful game. It's about rhythm, flair, joy, and a freedom of expression that turns football into a dance. It's the legacy of players who smiled as they destroyed opponents who moved with a samba-like grace. It's a celebration of life, expressed in 90 minutes. On the other side, you have Argentina and their cherished concept of la nuestra, our way. It's a style born from the streets, from the potreros or dirt pitches of Buenos Aires. It's about guile, cunning, passion, and an unbreakable will to win by any means necessary. It values the dribble, the individual genius of the pibe, the kid who can solve any problem with a touch of magic. But it also embraces viveza, a street-smart cleverness that sometimes blurs the line between gamesmanship and outright cheating. So when these two teams meet, it's not just blue and white against yellow and green. It's joga bonito versus la nuestra. It's the joyful dancer against the street-fighting artist. It is a clash of identities that has produced some of the most beautiful and most violent moments in football history. The bitterness started early. In the 1937 Pan American Championship final with the game tied, the players started fighting. The crowd invaded the pitch. The Argentine players, fearing for their safety, locked themselves in the dressing room. The police were called, and the chaos was so extreme that the match was suspended and only completed 2 days later, in the dead of night, in an empty stadium. That match set the tone for a century of conflict. But this philosophical debate was truly given a human face in the 20th century, through two men who claimed the throne of the world's greatest player, Pelé and Maradona. This was not just a debate between fans, it was a proxy war between two nations. Pelé was the embodiment of Brazilian footballing royalty. He won 3 World Cups, scored over 1,000 goals, and became football's first global superstar. He represented success, dominance, and the beautiful game in its purest form. He was the king, and for Brazil he was proof of their superiority. Then came Diego Armando Maradona. For Argentina, he was more than a footballer. He was a deity, a flawed genius who represented the people. He was the ultimate pibe, taking on the world with a ball at his feet. His 1986 World Cup victory was a national epic, a story of one man's defiant brilliance. While Pelé was the establishment, Maradona was the rebel. The debate over who was better became a national obsession for both countries, a question that cut to the core of their footballing identities. And when they met on the pitch, it was personal. In the 1982 World Cup, a young Maradona, frustrated by Brazil's superiority and the constant fouling, got himself sent off for a reckless, vengeful kick. It was a moment of Argentine passion boiling over into self-destruction. But 8 years later, in the 1990 World Cup, the tables turned in a moment that has gone down in football folklore. Argentina were being completely outplayed by Brazil. Then a moment of viveza occurred. During a stoppage, an Argentine trainer allegedly gave the Brazilian player Branco a water bottle laced with tranquilizers. Branco later complained of feeling dizzy and sluggish. Shortly after, Maradona went on a mazy run and set up Claudio Caniggia for the winning goal. Argentina won 1-0. Was the water spiked? Argentina, with a wink and a nod, has never fully denied it. The incident, known as the Holy Water Scandal, is the perfect encapsulation of the rivalry. Brazil's beautiful football undone by Argentina's street-smart cunning. It was a victory celebrated not just for the result, but for the way it was achieved. It was a triumph for La Nuestra. As the two gods aged, new avatars for the rivalry emerged. The 90s gave us the ferocious goal-scoring battles between Brazil's Ronaldo, O Fenomeno, and Argentina's Gabriel Batistuta. The 2000s saw the elegant artistry of Brazil's Ronaldinho, pitted against the methodical genius of Argentina, Juan Román Riquelme. And then came the modern era, an era defined by two players, who inherited the immense weight of their nation's hopes: Lionel Messi and Neymar Jr. Messi, the quiet, humble genius, the successor to Maradona's throne, who played with a supernatural talent that often seemed at odds with his understated personality. Neymar, the heir to Pelé and Ronaldinho, a player who embodied Joga Bonito with his audacious skills, his flair, and his on-field theatrics. For over a decade, they were the faces of the rivalry. But for all his once-in-a-generation talent, Messi was haunted by a ghost. He had won everything at club level, but he had never won a major trophy for Argentina. He was constantly compared to Maradona, who had single-handedly delivered his country a World Cup. The pressure was immense, the criticism at home often brutal. It seemed his legacy would forever be incomplete. This long, painful journey reached its dramatic climax on July 10, 2021, the Copa America final, Argentina versus Brazil. And where was it being played? At the Maracanã, the mythical, spiritual home of Brazilian football. It was the perfect stage for the ultimate showdown. Brazil were the defending champions, playing on home soil. Argentina were the desperate challengers, carrying the weight of 28 years without a major trophy. This was Messi's moment of truth. Could he finally deliver? The match was not a classic display of beautiful football. It was a true Superclásico. It was tense, ugly, physical, and fraught with tension. It was a war, and Argentina won. A single goal from Angel Di Maria was enough. At the final whistle, the world didn't see a tactical masterclass. They saw one image: Lionel Messi on his knees, head in his hands, weeping with a relief so profound it was felt by millions around the globe. His teammates mobbed him, lifting him into the air. He had finally done it. He had won a trophy for his country, and he had done it in the backyard of his greatest rival. For Argentina, it was more than a trophy. It was a national exorcism. For Brazil, it was the ultimate humiliation. The silence in the Maracanã was deafening. This rivalry is more than just history. It's a living, breathing entity. It's in the songs sung by the fans, filled with insults and pride. It's in the media, which whips up a frenzy before every match. It's in the arguments that take place in every bar and on every street corner from Rio de Janeiro to Buenos Aires. To win this game is to secure bragging rights for years. To lose is to face a period of national mourning and introspection. It is the purest expression of South American passion, a spectacle that is both beautiful and terrifying. It's a story of two footballing superpowers locked in an eternal struggle for dominance. A debate that will never be settled. A fire that will never go out. The names will change. New heroes will rise and fall. But the fundamental question will always remain: the beautiful game or our way? Or, which side are you on? Pelé or Maradona? Messi or Neymar? Let me know the ultimate South American legend in your opinion in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories from the heart of football's greatest battles.